How good is Pat Shurmur, really? Football is family. That phrase gets tossed around a lot, but for Pat Shurmur, it's not just a slogan, it's a birthright.
This is Plumber Football. Give it everything.
Born on April 14, 1965, in Dearborn, Michigan, Pat Shurmur entered the world with football already stitched into his DNA. His uncle, Fritz Shurmur, was a revered NFL defensive coordinator who spent 24 seasons coaching in the league, culminating in a Super Bowl win with the Green Bay Packers in 1997. Pat didn't just inherit a name, he inherited a legacy. Shurmur's own playing career began at Michigan State, where he was a 4-year letterman and a standout center. In 1987, he earned first-team All-Big Ten honors and was named an honorable mention All-American. But despite his accolades, the NFL didn't come calling. He went undrafted in 1988 and was cut by the Green Bay Packers during training camp. That moment, a door closing, became the start of a coaching journey that would span nearly 4 decades. Instead of chasing a playing career, Shurmur pivoted immediately. He returned to Michigan State as a graduate assistant, beginning a coaching career that would take him to the highest levels of football. Shurmur's NFL journey began with the Philadelphia Eagles, where he spent 13 seasons in various roles, including tight ends coach, offensive line coach, and eventually quarterbacks coach. He was on staff during the Eagles' run to Super Bowl 39 in the 2004 season, working closely with Donovan McNabb during his prime years from 2003 to 2008. McNabb, a dual-threat quarterback, thrived under Shurmur's guidance, a detail that makes Shurmur's current struggles with Colorado's Kaidon Salter all the more puzzling. Salter, a Liberty transfer with over 1,000 rushing yards and 12 touchdowns in 2023, has not been utilized in a system that plays to his strengths. Critics argue Shurmur should know better. He's coached this archetype before. Shurmur's NFL resume includes stints with 6 different teams. He served as offensive coordinator for 10 years and quarterbacks coach for 7. He's worked with Pro Bowl quarterbacks like McNabb and Nick Foles, and called plays for elite receivers including Deshaun Jackson, Jeremy Maclin, and Adam Thielen. In 2010, Sam Bradford won AP Offensive Rookie of the Year under Shurmur's system. In 2018, Saquon Barkley did the same. And in 2017, Shurmur earned AP NFL Assistant Coach of the Year for leading the Minnesota Vikings to a 13-3 record and an NFC Championship game appearance. But for every high, there's been a low. Shurmur's head coaching record is frankly terrible. He led the Cleveland Browns from 2011 to 2012 and the New York Giants from 2018 to 2019, finishing with a combined record of 19-46, a .292 winning percentage. Both tenures ended in firings, and both teams struggled offensively under his leadership. In 2009, as offensive coordinator for the St. Louis Rams, his unit was the worst in the league, averaging just 10.9 points per game. In 2020, his Denver Broncos offense averaged a mere 20.2 points per game, and quarterback Drew Lock regressed significantly. Despite these setbacks, Shurmur remained in demand, an acknowledgement to his experience, if not his results. By the time Deion Sanders took over at Colorado, Shurmur was already living in the state of Colorado, having served as the Broncos' offensive coordinator from 2020 to 2021. Some critics argue that his hiring was more about convenience than conviction, a local veteran coach who could step in quickly. Initially brought on as a quality control analyst, Shurmur was promoted mid-season in 2024 after Sean Lewis was demoted. The move raised eyebrows, but the results were mixed. With Shedeur Sanders at quarterback and Travis Hunter leading the receiving corps, Colorado finished the 2024 season with the number 6 passing offense in the nation. They led the Big 12 in passing yards and passing touchdowns, averaging 32.9 points per game, 5th in the conference. But the rushing attack was non-existent. Colorado ranked dead last in the Big 12 with just 847 rushing yards. They tied for last in 4th down conversions and were near the bottom in 3rd down efficiency. In key matchups, Nebraska, Kansas State, Kansas, BYU, the Buffaloes scored just 21 combined first-half points. Critics argued that Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter elevated Shurmur's system beyond its actual merit. While backup quarterback Ryan Staub showed flashes of promise, nearly upsetting Utah, the offensive scheme itself remained under scrutiny, suggesting that even with competent execution, the design lacked creativity and adaptability. Now in 2025, the Buffaloes are 1-2. Their only win came against Delaware, a team making its FBS debut. The offense has sputtered and fans are growing restless. Social media erupted after the Week 1 loss to Georgia Tech, with one viral post reading, "This play calling is legit horrific." The red zone offense was particularly criticized, with fans calling Shurmur's schemes vanilla and conservative. The wide receiver screens, called in bunches, have become a point of contention. With Salter's mobility and improvisational skills, many expected a more dynamic attack. Instead, the offense has looked rigid, lacking the explosiveness that defined the 2024 campaign. Even insiders have begun to question whether Shurmur is holding back the Buffaloes. Some have called for his firing, arguing that his system doesn't fit the personnel and that his conservative tendencies are stifling the team's potential. Despite the criticism, head coach Deion Sanders has publicly defended Shurmur. "We didn't lose because of Pat Shurmur or Robert Livingston," Sanders said, pushing back against media narratives that blame his staff unfairly. Sanders' loyalty is admirable, but the pressure is mounting. With Shurmur, Hunter, Jimmy Horn Jr., and LeJontay Wester all playing in the NFL, 4 drafted players from one offense, the cupboard is being restocked. New faces like Joseph Williams and Sincere Brown show promise, but they need a system that elevates their strengths. That's the question at the heart of this story. Pat Shurmur is not a bad coach. He's experienced, respected, and has worked with some of the best players in football. He's coached in a Super Bowl, won awards, and developed rookies into stars. His longevity in the game speaks volumes. But he's also not a great coach. His offenses have often underperformed, his head coaching record is poor, and his current stint at Colorado raises real concerns about adaptability, creativity, and fit. In today's college football landscape, where innovation and player-centric schemes reign supreme, Shurmur's old-school approach feels increasingly out of place. The game has evolved, and the question is whether Shurmur has evolved with it. There's a fine line between being seasoned and being stale. Shurmur's resume is long, but results matter. In 17 years coaching in the NFL, his offenses cracked the top 10 statistically just 3 times. That's not elite, that's average with flashes of brilliance. At Colorado, the 2024 passing stats were impressive, but context matters. Shedeur Sanders was a generational talent, and Travis Hunter was a matchup nightmare. The scheme didn't elevate them, they elevated the scheme. Now, with a new quarterback and a retooled roster, Shurmur must prove that he can build an offense from the ground up, not just ride the wave of star power. To understand Shurmur's coaching style, you have to look at his roots. He's a technician, a coach who believes in structure, discipline, and execution. His offenses are often built around timing routes, short passing concepts, and ball control. That worked in the early 2000s NFL, but today's game, especially at the college level, demands more. Creativity, tempo, and unpredictability are the new currency. Coaches like Lincoln Riley, Kalen DeBoer, and Dan Lanning have shown that aggressive, player-first schemes win games. Shurmur's reluctance to adapt has made him a target for criticism, especially when the results don't follow. The 2025 season is still young, but the margin for error is shrinking. If Colorado continues to struggle, the calls for change will grow louder. Shurmur's future may hinge on his ability to adapt, to build a system that suits Kaiden Salter, to unlock the potential of new weapons, and to silence the critics with results. Because in football, legacy is earned not just by longevity, but by impact. So what do you think? Has Pat Shurmur helped elevate Colorado's offense? Or is he holding the Buffaloes back? Is it time for Coach Prime to make a change? Or does Shurmur deserve more time to prove himself? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear what you think about his impact and whether Deion Sanders should move on. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss future deep dives into college football's biggest storylines. Thank you for watching, and as always, give it everything.